Top 5 programming languages you need to learn in 2021. Some of you may ask me, why should I learn to code? There's a famous quote by Steve Jobs in which he says that everyone should learn how to program a computer because it teaches you how to think. So the purpose of learning to code is not only to land a high-profile, prominent, high-paying job in a big tech companies, but also I feel like it widens our perspective towards opportunities available in our lives. You could do numerous amount of things with programming, such as you can build your own websites, you can make your own games, you can build your own business empire, you could do freelancing, you can make content creation, etc. So there are many numerous opportunities available through coding, and without any further ado, let's get into the list. And before I do that, consider liking this video because we have to beat the YouTube algorithm in order to reach this video to many people. And after you have liked this video, let's get into the video. So the number one programming language that tops today's list is Python. I personally started my programming career with Python and I haven't looked back ever since. It's very easy to use, simple programming language. So even if you're a complete beginner without not knowing any programming concepts, you could still use this language and have tremendous success with it. So the companies using this programming language are Google, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Quora, Netflix, Dropbox, Reddit, and so much more. So even if you're having doubt right now, why should I use Python, which you shouldn't have because it's one of the most amazing languages for beginners, I'm going to say some of its core features of Python. That is, number one, it's easy to learn and easy to use. That means Python is very easy to learn comparing to other programming languages. Its syntax is very straightforward and it's much like English language. Second, it's expressive language. That means you could achieve complex tasks with Python with fewer lines of code comparing to other programming languages. For instance, the Hello World program. The Hello World program, which we write as a beginning point of every programming languages which we learn, only takes single line of code comparing to other programming languages such as Java and C, which takes more than 6 lines of code. Second is one of the most key feature of Python is it has a huge standard library. And what is a standard library? It's just a pre-made code for specific fields which you can use in our projects rather than creating it from scratch. That means you don't have to do everything from scratch. There's already some developers who made some of the code and made it as a library. You can just pull that library and use it for our projects. It's one of the most cool features, and Python has so much of libraries available. I think more than 2 lakh libraries available, which is so cool. Next, it's cross-platform. That means you can run Python in any devices such as Windows, Linux, Mac, etc. So it enables developers to write code once and run code anywhere. So now if you decided to learn Python, there is huge resources out there in internet. There is a really good communities out there. Everything is for free, so you can easily learn Python and master it. So the average salary for a Python developer per year is $112,171 as per Indeed.com. Moving on, the next programming language, the number 2 programming language in our list is JavaScript. Actually, there was a huge competition between JavaScript and Python for the number 1 spot, but I have gone with Python because it's a very easy language for beginners. But JavaScript, it's rapidly growing, my friends. It's rapidly growing. Gone are the days when JavaScript was merely only used to bring interactiveness on otherwise static websites. Now, thanks to the awesome developers out there, now JavaScript can even do server-side operations with the help of frameworks like Node.js and Express.js, etc. In fact, in 2018 Developer Skills report by HackerRank shares that JavaScript is the top skill required by companies. So, if you want to learn JavaScript, you could do that. It's one of the most really great growing languages out there. JavaScript is really amazing language, guys. If your goal is to become a web developer or if you want to design a really good websites, there are really amazing tools in JavaScript you can use. And the companies which are using JavaScript are Microsoft, PayPal, Facebook, Groupon, etc. So some of the core features of JavaScript are it's used in validating user input. That means, for example, if you're filling a form in an online website, okay, if you're filling any forms, sometimes you miss some required fields. If you click submit, it will not allow you to submit because you haven't written the required field. This is done through JavaScript, and this is one of the most core features of JavaScript. Next, less server interaction. That means you don't always have to hit the server in order to validate the user input. You could just do some server-side operations in order to validate the user input, which is much faster, and you're reducing the burden on the server, which is one of the most core features of JavaScript. And the why you should use JavaScript is it provides rich user interfaces. With the emergence of React and Vue, now you can create really great user interfaces through material design components, which will increase the user retention. And the average salary of a JavaScript developer, according to Indeed.com, is $112965 per year, which is pretty cool. The third language in our list is Java. Even though this language is really declining rapidly according to Google Trends, if you pick up the last 5-year trends according to Google, the language is pretty much declining. But trust me, this language is one of the most in-demand languages because many companies are still using these languages, and this language is highly sought out. What is Java? It's class-based, object-oriented, and multi-purpose language intended to let application developers develop once, run anywhere. That's a principle known as WORA, W-O-R-A, right? Once, run anywhere. That means you just have to write the code once. You can run this code any devices on anywhere in which Java is compatible. Okay? So, Java is both interpreted and compiled languages, and as of 2019, it is one of the most popular languages according to GitHub. Okay, so some of the companies which is using Java are Uber, Airbnb, Pinterest, Amazon, and much more. Some of the features of Java are, it's very simple. That means, if you know the concept of OOP, that means object-oriented programming, you can relatively easily master Java. Next, it's high performant. It's high performant comparing to Python. Next, it's secure and it's portable. So the average salary for a Java developer, according to Indeed.com, is $103,497 per year. And moving on, next programming language. Fourth programming language in today's list is Swift. What is Swift? Swift is a general-purpose, multi-paradigm, compiled programming language developed by Apple Incorporation. What does Swift do? If you ever wish to develop iOS application, guess what? You can get started with this language, Swift. It's very easy to use. There are tons of resources out there on how to master Swift. And some of the applications made with Swift programming languages are WordPress, Mozilla Firefox, SoundCloud, etc. And some of the features of Swift language is it's safe, because the programming syntax of this language encourages us to write cleaner code, cleaner, consistent code, okay? And it's faster. One of the most key features on why this programming language has been made, because it should be more faster. So it is 2.6 times faster than Objective-C. What is Objective-C? Objective-C is one of the most really old programming language which was used by Apple before. Now they have slowly shifting to Swift. Next, it's 8.4 times faster than Python. So you can see the speed difference here. And it also has so many dynamic libraries. It can be supported by multiple devices such as iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, Apple TV, Mac devices. It also can run on Linux and Windows operating systems. So the average salary for an iOS developer is $122,980 according to Indeed.com. So the fifth language also was a bit difficult for me to choose, because there was really good other languages such as C++ and C#, Kotlin, etc. But I went with Go because This is a modern programming language which is rapidly growing right now. I feel like there will be a huge spike heading into 2021. And what is a Go? Go, otherwise known as Golang, is statically typed, compiled programming language designed by Google. Yeah, it's designed by Google. One of the most key features of Go is it has a rich standard library, garbage collection, concurrency, quick completion time, memory safety, and dynamic typing capabilities. So what if I say, if you can combine C programming languages performance and syntax readability of Python together, smushed together, you will get Go. Actually, Go is a combination of both of these languages. So that's why I already made this into my bucket list heading into 2021. I really wish to learn this Go. If you really mastered Python, or if you know some concepts of Python, I really encourage you guys to learn Go because it's one of the most really good languages out there. So some of the companies using Go are SendGrid, Twitch, Dailymotion, Dropbox, SoundCloud, Google, Uber, etc. So the average estimated salary for a Go developer is $100,157 per year. And that's it, guys. That's our list of top 5 programming languages to learn in 2021. And before I let you go, take all of this as a grain of sand. That means these ultimately are tools to achieve specific goals, and not every language will help you to achieve your specific goals. Okay, so before picking your languages, do your own research. Okay, I highly recommend everyone to do your own research. Spend a couple of hours researching on what languages I can pick for this specific field. For example, if your goal is to do machine learning and data science, there is no other better language like Python to achieve it, because it has so many third-party libraries such as TensorFlow, NumPy, Keras to help you in that aspect. Okay, if you want to just do web development, okay, if you want to build websites, really good websites, you could go with JavaScript. JavaScript has really good libraries such as Vue, Angular, React, etc. to give you rich user interfaces, and you can do server-side operations with Node.js, Express.js, etc. You could also go with Python. Python has Django and Flask, which are really amazing. And if you want to do some Android app developments, you could go with Java or Kotlin. Kotlin is not there in my list today, but it's equally capable of achieving the task. If you want to do iOS app development, you could go with Swift. Okay, so if you want to build an app which is cross-platform, that means you want to build an app which will run on iOS devices as well as Android devices, you could go with Flutter or Go. If you want to build AAA games, and what is AAA games? For example, you could take Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, or PUBG, etc. These are all the AAA games. Or you want to build embedded system, operating systems, etc. You could go with C or C++. Or you just want to automate your day-to-day life. You want to make some scripts which automates your part of your lives to make your life easier. You could achieve that through some languages such as Python and Java. So yeah. So that's it. My sole recommendation, my sole advice is to do your own research, because after learning a language for 1 month, then you come to know that I couldn't do this task with this language. It's a huge pain. For example, I initially thought that I could do really great GUI development, a mobile app development with Python, but really you could. There are some libraries to do app development in Python such as Kiwi, but there is no great apps made with Kiwi. So I don't recommend to use Python for mobile app developments. There's really great other options out there such as Flutter. Flutter is one of the most amazing tools to use to develop mobile applications. Now some people may have doubt, if you choose on web development, what language should I choose? Should I choose Python or JavaScript? If you ask me personally, okay, my personal preference, I've chosen Python for development. I'm using Django, which is pretty amazing. But if you ask the same question to other developer out there, he might say he loves JavaScript because it has a React and Vue. It makes really great user interfaces. So there is no definite answer for this. So if you want to find the answer, what I recommend you to do is spend a couple of weeks with these languages. For first week you spend with JavaScript, next week you spend with Python. After experimenting for a couple of weeks, choose the language which really fits with you and which you really enjoy the most. After choosing a language, stick with it. That's very important. Don't just jump here and there between languages. Stick with a particular language, okay? And yeah, I think we have reached the end of the video, and thank you so much for watching it till the end. I really appreciate it. If you have any clarifications regarding today's video, please let me know in the comment section below. I'll be the first one to answer all of them. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more amazing programming contents. And thank you so much guys, I love you all. I will see you in next YouTube video.